play with Wei. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ezreal taken here. You still hit that strong mid game. And then if you want to, Nautilus does pretty well against this Leona still, and you can set yourself up incredibly well.
See what RNG want to go for. TT locking in that strong bot side. So the Leona and Varus there. Good engage, good kill pressure should they want it. And RNG looking to see now what Gala can do. Like we mentioned, the Varus is something that he has very much planted himself on and said, I take this. And now what has he got in the tank? Looks like he got the ZIggs.
I mean, ZIggs has actually been a pretty strong staple since we've swapped over to patch 11.14 and works really well against the Varus, right? Same idea as the Ezreal. You don't interact with the lane, you shove it, and you unlock Ming to kind of go elsewhere. This ZIggs can clear out waves incredibly quickly. And again, that late game scaling for RNG has now taken form in the shape of the ZIggs.
Yeah, looking very, very strong as of right now, as the Nautilus locked in as well. So we'll see what the last pick is for TT. Like you, I want to see them prioritize getting something for Xiaopeng. I feel like you could just lock in your jungler here, leave your counter lanes and your top and mid, and just give Xiaopeng something that he has a bit more priority on.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen the Rek'Sai, that early aggressive pick, but Xiaopeng, we don't know. Maybe this Trundle is going towards Xiaopeng. We talked about in the last game where it does quite well against the Xin Zhao, but they did flex that around in the last split. So maybe RNG decide, hey, look, we're actually just going to ban more of these jungles to make sure that Xiaopeng is uncomfortable. TT on the opposite hand, though, looking again towards that top lane for Xiaohu. Now you've got the Jace, Camille, potential Mundo ban coming in here as well. Or they can still look towards things like that Gwen, which is still up and available.
Wait to see what they want to go for now. Camille banned away, the Twist of Fate as well. RNG basically saying we want to see exactly where they want to take all of this, and I want to see what Yuekai can do. This is a big test now. We mentioned how this was a warm-up session for RNG. They're seeing what Crying can do. They're seeing if they can, maybe get some different strategies, maybe slightly better strategies, and putting Yuekai on the LeBlanc was one strategy we saw, worked very well, but now what else has he got in the tank, and is he okay picking in blind as the Akali is the final ban for TT?
And that's the question mark for me here as well, is like, look, we've only seen Yuekai on this LeBlanc pick. Now, if we're looking about RNG traditionally with Crying in the mid lane, okay, we're looking towards things like Oriannas, Gallios, Nocturnes, things that influence side lanes. It's not about that mid lane pressure, but Yuekai, obviously a very different player, so I'm curious to see what actually Yuekai wants to go towards. Still, the opportunity to go towards things like the Ryze blind if you want to. Ryze certainly starting to take a stranglehold on these like blind pickable mid laners that can still have a good amount of impact with that realm warp.
Wait now, TT taking a lot of time here. The Olaf going to be the final ban here for RNG. Again, good into something like the Xin Zhao. We have seen it, however, go very awry where the Xin Zhao just blows up onto the scene and creates so much more pressure. As we see now, Ryze locked in here for, good split push. You just mentioned all the priority there that Ryze can get. But RNG get a little bit of a counter pick now, so they know what they want to be picking into Yuekai. They're just going to be basically picking blind for Xiaohu.
I feel like they're going to go back towards the Gwen here. I think the Gwen's still doing strong. Now, it did obviously get some nerfs, but I think it's still relatively all right. Although, that's a throwback we haven't seen in a little while. I mean, when you've got when you got the AP bot lane, you can take this Lucian into the top lane if you want. That could be going towards Yuekai. Just putting it out there. So I'm going to wait and see what this final pick is, but looking at TT, I like at least that we've got the Ryze, still holding on to that flexibility here, so you can get the counter pick for Xiaohu if you want, or send that Trundle top and actually just take a secondary jungler here for Xiaopeng.
Well, looks like the Kennen going to be locked in. Technically can be a flex, but we do expect that to be a Kennen top with the Lucian in mid, and we'll see what Yuekai can do. If Yuekai can show a massive prominence and show that this pick is very powerful for them in the mid lane as well, this becomes a massive power pick for RNG later on in the season. We talked about at unbelievable lengths how this Lucian for Xiaohu was a must ban in spring, must ban at MSI, and now we'll see if RNG want to continue that trend coming into the last stages of the summer split.
I wasn't sure if we're actually going to get to see the Ryze flex, but instead we are going to get the Gnar going in towards that top lane instead. So at least answering for a little bit of the range in the Yordle versus Yordle matchup in that top side. But you can see both compositions kind of want to do the same thing, right? They're going to be butting heads when it comes towards these team fights. Very strong engaged support, strong engaged top laners with big AoE ultimates. You've got a lot of damage that's going to be running through that front line in the mid laners, and you've got this kind of war of attrition between Gala and Sam D, with these long range carries from the bot lane trying to see if they can land the poke. I still though just think with the scaling opportunities that you have, on RNG side. I favor them when we get towards these late game fights, but certainly in that kind of first item window, kind of 1.5 items, there is an opportunity for TT to try and take over this game.
Absolutely. I think TT have given themselves plenty of tools to set themselves up, get themselves into a good position. And one of the funny things is we've seen Trundle slowly but surely finding himself back in the meta with the amount of jungle bans that are going in the majority of games. Trundle is very, very good at setting up something like a Leona, something like a Gnar. With that Pillar of Ice, you set up such a great CC. It's such an annoying slow to deal with. It might as well be a hard CC. I believe it's a 70% slow at rank 1, so it's kind of nutty at how long it lasts. So this is an opportunity here for TT to bite back, use their early priority, and get something on the board versus RNG.
And a lot of that needs to stem from, again, Xiaopeng. I mean, we just said, look, this Trundle needs to get involved. It has to be down towards this bottom lane. One of the things that you said was, look, Leona, Trundle, really nice synergy there. Well, pair that when you hit that level 6, the setup is nigh on impossible for Gala to try and escape. And I feel like when you're looking at this game, you can even have Ye start to rotate down as well, using that realm warp. You've got tools here as TT. We just need to see them in the right places.
Let's see now. We are jumping onto the rift. The Zhao is going strong as RNG look to make another 2-0. Would be their 6th 2-0 in 7 series if they are able to finish this one off. Only dropping 1 game in their last 15 games is kind of nutty. If you look at the stats in that regard, as RNG now going to be pushing in towards this top side. And I want to see what RNG can do with Wei now on the Xin Zhao, because they have priority in mid lane. They have got a pretty safe bot lane. I want to see Wei and Yuekai comboing up and doing something.
Especially when you, as you said, it's kind of hard to say, hey, look, Yukai's going to push in this lane. Usually we look at the LUcian, it's like, oh yeah, well, he can go pretty aggressive against a lot of these targets. And yes, you can do quite well against Ye just in like straight up auto attack trading, but the Ryze does actually have a good amount of pushback in this lane, and because you're such a short range AD carry as LUcian, you're actually always in the range for that spell flux to start bouncing around and making things a little bit difficult. So Yuekai not having as much pressure here, but you can see at least from level 1, still going to be able to get that shove and at least get some vision control in the jungle.
Now, they will know that ward is there, though, as TT did have a ward of their own on the ramp from river up to their red side jungles, so not really too concerned. Should be easy enough for the Trundle to maybe even just dodge out that vision should he choose. Gives him a little bit of extra time to get towards the top side. Could even go from top, hit the Krugs, hit the red, and then go back down to Raptors. Lots of different options. We'll see how they want to do it, and putting in SamD will get the early push. Very easy. I know we obviously talk about ZIggs as a very good pushing champion, and as I'm just talking about that, Xiaopeng now being pushed forward here. He's going to actually flash in, flash away, but he's going to have nowhere else to go, and that is going to be first blood gifted to TT's mid laner.
Really good job from TT there. You see, yeah, hits that level 2, sets up perfectly for Xiaopeng after clearing his bot side. Now the TP back into mid, Wei trying to invade, knowing that Ye has used his flash and kind of a bit low, or at least half health.
Well, the TP back into mid lane means that Yuekai will have the pressure here, and yeah, good call from Xiaopeng. He recognizes he can't take this fight on his own, so it's going to be the Ryze moving in. Ryze trying to see if he can get into one there. Yuekai using the double tap to make sure that that ward dies, as Xiaopeng now here. Wind becomes lightning. Not going to hit just yet. Now you might be forced into a little bit of engage. Yeah, back up to full HP and mana to jump straight in onto the Ryze. And that's a good trade back of kills. And Xiaopeng, though, able to answer back. It ends up being a flash forward. He knows he can catch out Yuekai, but the TP is being committed. It's going to be the LUcian trying to trade this one back. Nicely done. And the TP coming into the mid lane as well. It's RNG trading this one so nicely. But yeah, does get the TP off and does get himself to trade this one back. It's all action all the time, and similar to game 1, we got 3 kills apiece.
Oh, that Q from Ye nearly connecting could have finished off Xiaohu, but Xiaohu late to that play. Xiao7 was able to move down first, managed to set up those initial kills, and now it feels like we're looking at game number 1 again. Penguin 3 for 3 on the scoreboard after some crazy action in the early stages.
3 for 3, and it is this time, though, I gotta feel like Yuekai coming out the worst for
Oh no, Ming.
Ming goes in. They are going to trade back with Pudding, so both supports losing a bit of health bar. Ming a little bit worse off than most, but again, nothing too untoward. But yeah, honestly, I think if you're on this Ryze, 2 kills this early, you're laughing.
You can see Xiao 7 moves down to the play where Xiaohu moves up towards the tower to finish pushing in that wave. So this is a 3v2, which means they get this kill onto Wei. We have to commit onto Yuekai, but then you get the TP madness, right? You get Xiaopeng, who actually ends up going down to Yuekai because Xiao 7 doesn't actually flash over the wall to guarantee they can make this play happen first. Xiaohu comes in, which means that then you're able to just about keep yourself alive, but messy kind of across the board as good engage here. Ming misses the hook.
Ming missed the hook there, but actually SamD could not move forward. Great minefield there from Gala to stop any real push forward there from Varus. So nicely done there. As now we see the bot lane, or excuse me, the mid lane and junglers might be going toe-to-toe once more. No teleport though this time around for Xiaohu. There is one for Xiao 7, so got to be a little bit respectful here, RNG. And TT, this is exactly what we said. They have the tools to fight. They have the tools to maybe get themselves an advantage. They are just looking to make it as big of an issue as possible for Wei.
This is also such big brain from TT as well, because right now, right, Wei clears out bot side jungle. He's going to move top right as hits level 6. So now you know that that entire bot side jungle is going to be free for you to walk through and potentially look for this round war play on bot side. So keep your eyes on to see if they're going to be able to set up this play.
We'll wait and see exactly how they do it. Yeah. Just going to be resetting. Has level 6, like you mentioned. Got to go back, spend a bit of gold, probably come out with a lost chapter or maybe even a Kindle gem, depending on what he wants to go for. They are going to stop the backs, flash forward, flash away. SamD does not really have anywhere to go, but the TP committed. That's the TP advantage we talked about for Xiao 7. And now Ming caught between a rock and a hard place. Xiao 7 says, thank you very much. That's the tax for having me to TP down. And they are going to be able to answer that gank.
And Wei was trying to get ahead of that play we just talked about. Hey, if we can just kill TT's bot lane, well then they can't actually set up for this dive. And now it's actually TT that gets the advantage. However, Xiaohu is going to trade on top side, going to get some nice turret plays for himself. And Xiaohu is going to be massive on this Kennen. The only thing is, he's actually not gone that Conqueror build. He's gone back for the Unsealed Spellbook, so going to be a little bit more lane focused. You can see here, nice natural charge from Gala. Unfortunately though, the TP just coming in is going to make too big of a difference. Can't get the follow-up in time from Ming as well. And just the overextension from RNG in the play.
Yeah, I think Ming there thought he was about to get the auto attack off. I think if he does, he probably kills SamD regardless of flash or not. But because he doesn't end up getting the CC down, has to end up going overextend himself and pick himself off basically in that kill. So see now what RNG want to take this one now. They are pretty equal on gold, about 200 or so down. There is a 20 CS, or about 10 or so, actually, about 20 once Kennen gets back up to this lane for Xiaohu in the top side. Has the Ignite available to him as well, so with the Slicing Maelstrom on cooldown, must have used it to try and clear out the wave. As now in a little bit of trouble. Nice fancy feat, though, from the Ryze. Stops Ming from getting any purchase. Nicely done there by the TT mid laner.
Really well played. Gets the phase rush as well to get himself on out of there. So, yeah, getting himself a nice little bit of a play there. And as well, a lot of time invested here into this top side, or at least mid lane for TT, means that you get the push for SamD in that bottom lane. And it's been SamD who's been constantly just kind of chipping away at this turret, pushing in this wave, and especially now with Rift Herald in 15 seconds, you start to roam here as SamD and move up towards that top side. Gala has that TP though, so he'll be able to stay bot lane and try and play both sides here. Hey, I can threaten the tower, or I can just TP to the play. It's one of the beauties of this Zig pick.
Yeah, Yuekai walks forward, tries to trade aggressively with but this Ryze is already at a point of being so damn scary to deal with. Has a Sorcerer's Shoes and of course a Ruby Crystal alongside that tier, so we'll now see TT recognizing that they have the priority in mid. They have the bot lane roaming up, so they're going to trade the Rift Herald, but this is a Ziggs Dagda, so they will take turrets very, very quickly, so you gotta question what can you get, because with TT taking the Rift Herald, it's the potential to get things versus actually getting them right now.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation for TT, right? Because you either don't commit your bot lane to the play, Gala TP's up, man advantage for RNG. You commit your bot lane to the play, Gala stays where he is, and takes your tower anyway. Like, you don't win in this scenario, so I like what TT are doing, right? They say, hey, look, let's just group and make sure we can actually get use out of this Rift Herald. Yuekai cannot approach this because he's under threat from a corrupting, or the Chains of Corruption, and now you get so many more plates for SamD off this play. So a nice job from TT to actually get that gold advantage straight off from the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they get themselves 4 plates in mid lane, but it is almost 3 plates here for TT in bot, so or sorry, for RNG in bot lane. So kind of answered a little bit. We'll see what TT can do now, knowing that the mid lane turret is very, very low, and everyone kind of roaming up now towards this bot side turret. They're looking to try and take this one down. With his Ziggs, it is very possible to do it. There's the Realm Warp going to be coming in and getting him out. Nicely done there by the mid laner of TT. And yeah, he's having a pretty decent game right now. He's looking pretty happy, pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to kind of watch, because a couple of hooks from Ming now got astray. He's just about managed to dodge them. I've seen Nautilus hooks. They're undodgeable. They're point and click.
Honestly, it feels like it sometimes. It feels like his ult is on his Q.
Yeah, I mean, look, from everything I've seen on Reddit, it is impossible to dodge Nautilus hooks. So the fact that Yez managed to get away from 2, I think we need to go check his PC.
I think we really do. I think it's that setup. Actually, in fairness, they say that you say Nautilus hooks is impossible. The most recent Reddit trend has been that the knock up from Baron is impossible to dodge.
Oh,
and
don't start.
Honestly, I feel that one because the amount of times where I've been like, yep, this is fine. I've been against like a Yasuo, he's 0-10, and then 2 people on my team get knocked up by the Baron, he gets an instant ult and we all die. It's upsetting.
Well, Xiao7 won't need a Baron knock-up, but might get a Wei knock-up to make sure he goes down here.
No Slicing Maelstrom here available, but no Mega Gnar here from the Gnar either, so he's going to be able to help hop himself away. Actually, a little bit late on that, and that means Wei can push in with the Crescent Strike and pick up a kill. Nicely done there by the jungler of RNG.
Yeah, and I mean, Xiaohu didn't even need to be involved. He's like, thank you very much, I'll take that. I can back now safely. Has that 20 CS lead for himself. A sizable advantage for Xiaohu because Xiao7 was trying to TP around the map. You can see it there. Even though you get that kill going the way of Xiao7, there's still a 300 gold lead going in favor of Xiaohu right now.
Yeah, the extra CS, the extra experience as well. You're looking at a level difference and picking up the plates on his own. So yes, Xiaohu has not been the focus in this particular game, nor was he in the last, and RNG definitely looking a little bit more shaky in the early stages of this game. They are still technically ahead. They got a dragon, they got a little bit of a gold lead, they are still stacking up nicely coming into this mid game, and just more seeing exactly what TT can do to respond to this. What can TT do to stop the snowball that we have seen so many times this split now?
Yeah, and there's a lot of unseen gold advantages in RNG as well, because what a lot of people forget is, like, magic footwear exists. So if you look at, like, RNG, you've got the entire top half of the map is taking that magical footwear. That's 300 gold across the board. They've not had to invest into boots, whereas it's only been Xiaopeng who's gone towards that. So it's these little things from RNG where they're like, hey, yeah, we can, like, cheat a little bit of scaling here and actually end up with a bigger gold lead than what you're actually seeing on your screen right now.
Yeah, small little things like that can lead to a massive difference as Divine Sunderer has been picked up for Xiaopeng's Trundle, with Wei picking up his Gordrigger Proto Belt here for Xiaohu as well. So has got a little bit of extra jump in should he need it. Dragon spawning in a minute 30's time. He should have his TP available for that once he's able to use that Ignite and trade that one back off his unsealed spellbook. And this is where RNG start to usually take control of the game. They start to take away camps. They start to push themselves into nice advantageous positions like this, where Wei knows he's not on a ward. He's been here for a very, very long time, and they might look to try and take away Ye's flash.
Ye's playing so safe, though. Like, Ye's actually been taking a lot of this pressure from RNG and just absorbing it, going, cool, I'm going to keep myself safe. And the fact he has been doing it mostly without investing these summoner spells has been insane. It looks like TT, though, we're trying to see if they can catch RNG roaming back towards that bot side of the depth rush, but with 50 seconds of the dragon, they're going to reset.
Oh, flash in with the dead dredge line, but it's just going to be a flash for flash. But for RNG, that's a positive. You've taken the flash off a mid laner. It only costs your support's flash.
The thing is, though, you just invested that depth charge right before this dragon comes up. So for TT, this is where you can look to actually take that fight. And I love Ye's, like, presence of mind there. Not only does he take the flash, he moves in behind the turret, so there's no follow-up hook from Ming. You can't actually get it around to try and hit him. So nice job there from Ye again to absorb this pressure. And now they can try and make a move over towards the dragon, or honestly, even towards the Rift Herald, which is about to spawn as well.
They're about to get it, yeah. Will land the Ruin Prison, force the flash out of Yuekai as he does get away from the Solar Flare. Yeah, jumps in, or Wei jumps in onto as Xiaopeng now in a little bit of trouble. Good Pillar of Ice to try and separate everybody around. And this is where things get a little bit interesting now. You can see Xiaohu, he's not going to invest his TP this time around. He's just going to try and get himself behind the turret, maybe flash in with the Slicing Maelstrom and look for a play.
Also has that Hextech Pro or Rocket Belt even, so can make a big play. Here we go.
Here we go, going in. There it is. They're going to try and burst down everybody, but it's the tanks, and it's going to be Xiaohu who falls. He does not have the tank stats, and now Ming in a little bit of trouble. They're going to use the Realm Orb to get everybody back into this, but Yuekai is still big, and they might look to try and trade this one back, but the Chain of Corruption is good to lock down Wei. TT trade it back. 2 kills to 1. They do lose bot lane turret, but RNG, they look for something, and they weren't able to make it stick.
Yeah, first tower of the game goes RNG in bot, but TT win the fight. They win that turret mid, and now they win the objective as well. They can fall over towards this dragon if they want to, or as we said, the Rift Herald is there and available, but because it was Xiaopeng that went down, going to be a little bit slow moving across here. Or I think they could have just started that up, but instead holding off for the jungler. But you see here, big engage underneath the turret. They managed to just take down Xiaopeng, but Wei not really in a position to follow up, and oh, Xiao7.
Xiao7 almost mega, still has his Mega Gnar available to him as he is going to hit that bar, going to go back maybe, try to heal up a little bit. I don't think RNG want to try and contest this one just yet. Yes, they have their team back on the map, but they know they are not prepared to take this fight. A lot of big cooldowns still waiting to come back up, still waiting for the ultimates, just not really worth the fight.
Now, Xiaohu just going to try and chip away at this turret. Still needs to be very safe, though, right? Because TT, they're the ones in control of the map right now. They're going to be looking towards this Rift Herald, so he's trying to very quickly clear this wave and get some chip damage top before TT get back onto the map. I'd actually rather see Gala be the one that's pushing top side here. I think when you've got this tower so low, he can take it himself. He'll always be there with presence towards towards the Rift Herald as well, but it looks like actually TT not really moving up towards the Rift Herald, so it's just going to be Xiao7 who's left wanting as Xiaohu takes the turret.
Yeah, not really respecting the fact that the Kennen was alone. They hadn't got Flash, of Ghost instead, so Xiaohu does end up taking full solo gold from that tower going down in topside. Gets the local gold from that as well, and still 20 or so CS up on this Gnar, so you gotta respect the fact that Xiaohu will have this big damage that later on this game goes, and if he's able to find those flanks, this Kennen will do like pretty significant damage.
Oh, Xiao7 to the back line.
He's on the back line, but he's not on the carries that he needs to be on. There is the ultimate Mega Inferno Bomb right on top of the Slicing Maelstrom. The AoE is just ridiculous. 2 kills to Xiaohu and 1 for Gala, as well as RNG set the trap, and they spring it perfectly onto TT.
I'd like to apologize for my earlier excitement.
Yeah.
I forgot RNG team fighting, just big diff, just big diff. There's nothing I can do. Like RNG, you can see they just about managed to escape away from that one, and then the combination between all those ultimates just tears apart TT. So RNG now, they're the ones fully in control. It took them a little bit of time to ramp up, but now 2 turrets gone on either side of the map. Push in topside for Xiaohu. Team fighting going their way as well. It feels like RNG are in great shape, but watch that Ming. Phenomenal hook. Straight away, Ming has, Wei has already turned his attention that way as well. And then with Xiaohu, just the cherry on top as he comes in on top to just finish off everyone on TT.
And important to notice there, you look at the Mega Gnar ultimate that came in, it just wasn't on carries, it was on the 2 tanky boys, it was on the Xin Zhao and the Nautilus, so they're not your priority people, they're not the people you want to be committing those ultimates to. You need to be getting onto the Lucian, you need to be getting onto the ZIggs, and once that ultimate's down, there's not really a lot you can do here on the side of TT, but they are still hunting and prodding, see if they can get something going for them, but you can see Wei, he has a feeling somebody's there, and he doesn't want to find out when they open the door.
And I think you kind of get to see in the fight, just going back to it, like, Ming, he's insanely good when it comes towards these engages, but what I admire about Ming so much is, like, how good he is at realizing, like, what's the optimal play for me right now? Should I be the one that's engaging, or should I just be playing defense? And you can see it in that clip, right? Though you were looking for that flash play from Xiao7. Ming predicts it perfectly, actually lands the hook smack bang in the middle of Gnar's forehead and shuts down that entire play for TT. If that hook hadn't landed, that could have been the carries for RNG locked up. But it's Ming coming in so often with these clutch plays, these clutch CCs that buy the space that RNG's backline needs.
And again, one good fight from RNG. Everything else has been TT, or at least equal for them in these fights. One good fight, 3,000 gold. Out of nowhere. It just happens. It almost feels like, oh cool, they're in the ascendancy, let's give them an extra bit of boost. It just feels like the small little advantages that they gain for themselves in team fights just turn into massive ones. Now 30 CS in top lane. Now, you know, basically getting themselves 10 CS in the bot lane. They are pushing and prodding and just gaining so much more than TT can keep up with.
And now you've got the gold translate into items. 2 items already completed for your Lucian. Actually, the Divine Sunder build. So going this more like tank burst, bruiser style Lucian. You're getting the Zhonya's Hourglass complete for Xiaohu. Means he can play like so aggressive in these team fights as well, where he's just flashing in, getting right into the backline, and there's nothing you can do with TT.
Well, TT gonna have to force Pudding to flash away. The hook was coming in. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Puts down a nice bit of poke damage. And with the ability haste you have at this level for Gala, he should have that one back up in about a minute or so. And RNG take control of this Dragon Pit. They know, saying, look, we have the item spikes. We have 2 items per carry basically on our team. We are stronger than you right now. And we are the ones who are going to be continuing to push this boat out to sea and get ourselves out in Salem.
Yeah, and one of the nice things as well is when you've got this AD mid laner for Gala, it means you can give him blue buff, right? You can actually bypass going towards something like the Archangel Staff that sometimes we see, although traditionally we've just seen the, hey, I'm just going to try and burst you out rather than actually looking for these extended trades as the Ziggs. But now, Gala's going to be in home territory and he just needs one more item and he's all good.
Oh, the TP from Xiaohu. They know exactly where Yeah is. And Yeah will fall. That is basically a solo kill there for Kennen. And this is just RNG playing it so smart.
Yeah, and now they just fall back towards the dragon. And although you had TT trying to maybe get themselves in towards this skirmish, there's just nothing they can do now. And again, this kind of seems to be the way, right? We get these early plays from TT where, yeah, you can have Xiaopeng ganking for you in the mid lane. You can try and get him set up well, but it feels like every single time, as soon as these initial terrors go down, RNG come alive and they take over the map.
They just have such good game sense. I think that's the only way I can really describe it. Just recognizing Xiaohu as TP, yeah, has overextended. We don't even need to fully force onto him. We just know that he is overextended away from his teammates, and they just have the mindset to go for that play. And there, with the Mega Inferno Bomb, they are able to stop the push in topside. TT will get nothing from trying to be coy or smart with the quick rotations. And now RNG, they could look to maybe start setting up around this Baron. They do take it fairly decently.
Especially like Liandry's Anguish, Divine Sunder, 2 things that are kind of built for taking down this Baron. But TT now may get a turf for themselves, but a lot of people on RNG trying to collapse. This could be the fight that gives Baron towards RNG if TT get caught.
Yeah, I think RNG playing very respectfully, knowing that they do not have the same teleports as the side of TT, that the 2 people who were missing in that top side could very well end up being there as quick as they needed to. And you can see Ming, Pink Ward, not going to be able to catch out that ward there. And you talked about the blue buff going over to the Ziggs. Looks like they're going to be able to give that one over unless Xiaohu decides he needs that buff.
Nah. They're definitely going to be going towards Ziggs. It's just such a good pickup, especially like one of the big problems that you have as Ziggs in this AP carry role in the bot side is going to be, hey, I don't really want to go towards the Archangel Staff. So if I can bypass that, it works out so well. I just get pure damage. And a lot of people even, when they aren't able to get these blue buffs consistently, still bypass the mana. And they're just like, right, I'm going to rely on Liandry's Anguish and just try and burst you down. But for Gala, it means you've got a little bit more presence in these fights. You can toss out a few more of these poking, bouncing bombs rather than trying to use it for combination with the CC and burst someone down incredibly quickly.
Well, 3 minutes to the next Drake spawns. It is a 3,000 gold lead or a little bit above it for RNG. They also have 2 dragons to 1. They are maybe looking to try and jump onto Yeah. Would be a bit dangerous, and this is the quick rotations of RNG. They just now go, right, cool, we take this turret. You can't defend this on your own. No one's going to be here on time. Pop goes the Weasel, and that is a nice tier 2 now, making that top side that little bit more dangerous.
The entire map is dangerous for TT right now. Like, if you try and move around, there's so much pressure that can come through at any point in time, right? But you try to defend mid. All right, well, Gala's got this Mega Inferno Bomb that he's tossing out. Depth charge to set that up. Sam D, dead. Yeah, dead. The only people that really survive this are going to be the front line for TT, but it's so easy to bypass that front line. And now for RNG, they have options, right? You can play 1-3-1 if you really wanted to, but realistically, I think just having Xiaohu push the side lane and keeping Yuekai with your team means that if you manage to look for one of these picks where you can utilize the 1-2 punch of Gala and Ming, toss a Cullen in there. See if it sticks. You'll probably take someone down as well.
Yeah, you see RNG now looking for a little bit of a flank. TT maybe thinking they found someone, but they'll know Xiaohu is behind them, and they need to be very careful. Void Staff has been finished up for Kennen, even has Cleanse on that Summoner, so swapping out to something to keep him going and alive in this particular fight. We'll lose the Mega Gnar now for the side of TT, so they are not feeling confident to walk over and take this fight for themselves. Minute 30 till that dragon spawns, and RNG, all 3 lanes are pushing for them. They are just in total control of this map, and they are not giving an inch to TT.
I feel scared for TT. They are not giving Danger Mouse enough of a berth. Every time they're just walking through mid lane, I'm like, he's right there. Like, at any point in time, you're going to get shocked, but Mega Inferno Bomb, you can see that damage that we just talked about. Sam D, out of the picture. Nearly taking a little bit more, but the Immortal Shield Bow coming in to give him a little bit more of a health bar.
Yeah, I mean, that's an active gun now, a cooldown no longer available to you. As you can see, Xiaohu now with the rest of his team going to be pushing into this tier 2. And again, we're seeing it from RNG, just smart macro gameplay, smart moves, knowing where they need to be, knowing how to set up the map. And despite everything that TT did in the early game to try and keep themselves level, they're now 5,000 gold behind. It's gone from 3 to 5 in literally 2 towers, and I don't know why.
It's just been silly. I mean, look at the CS leads, right? You've got pretty much 20 across the board and top and mid. You've got these towers that are going down, kills that are going their way. Like, it's absolutely insane. And there's just little you can do as TT. And this is why RNG are obnoxious to play against, right? Because you're like, come on, just fight me. And they're like, no. They're the Trindamere solo queue.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah.
Exactly,
you know what? Yeah, you could go and try and fight us. But we're actually taking a tower topside and like, no, you come fight Dragon? Maybe we can fight here.
And it's just like, oh, maybe we can fight here. It's like, yeah, but we just picked up a Void Staff onto our Ziggs. So, you know, we're going to absolutely decimate your health bars before this fight even starts. So, yeah, about that fight you wanted to take. And you can see there's health ward available for Xiaohu. He's going to reset, go back. And he's looking for wards. He's got a deep ward, and he's already coming back in on top of this. He's going to try and get around the blue buff and get in on top of this fight. Xiaopeng hasn't got a health bar. Xiaopeng cannot be here. Now Xiaohu is there. The
Danger
flash
Mouse.
in. Xiaopeng has just been deleted. 2 quick kills. And Xiaohu finds his mark, and funny enough, it's Xiaopeng who still stays alive, but not for much longer. Just drop down the Pillar of Ice. The flash has to be used there by Gnar, and this is all RNG all the time. They can pick and choose whatever the hell they want.
I mean, they can take everything right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they just move over towards Baron here after shoving this wave. They have so much damage. Everyone's still healthy. Yeah, it's just going to be the Baron picked up here, and they'll continue now their onslaught of the TT Terrors. But tier 2 and top tier 2 already gone. There's only the mid one stands that before you hit TT's base.
I mean, this is just RNG, just taking it to another level. So now 6,000 gold, going to go up to about 7,000, but maybe even 8,000 when they take this Baron. And there is a dragon still available. RNG did not take that, so TT will go and reclaim the consolation prize. But my God, RNG are just looking so damn good coming into the last part of this split.
I mean, look, consolation prize here for TT. Dragon is kind of nice.
You take
but
it.
you know that this is just going to be an onslaught, especially when you look towards the siege potential from RNG, right? You've got an AD carry already there, which can just toss a Culling on top of you. You got ZIggs as well. As you can see from the Mega Inferno Bomb in your picture here, does a lot of damage. And especially if you even try to engage, here's the other damage Yordle that's coming through. Xiaohu just popping down that Maelstrom means you've got no ability to actually take these fights.
Oh, speaking of not being able to take these fights, you do see the Mega Gnar there used as they're going to try and use the Wind Become Lightning back in on top of him. And he's just waiting to try and get a hop available to him so he can get back over this wall. He will have Xiaopeng there with the Pillar of Ice, but Xiaopeng does not want to be a part of this fight just yet. Do RNG keep searching for it? The Mega Inferno Bomb, it's still ticking down. It won't kill him off, but look at the damage. The Wind Becomes Lightning reaches over, and oh my God, TT. I just feel bad.
That was just the most like non-committal help from Xiaopeng I've ever seen. That was like the friend who's like, hey, look, I'm really struggling. Like, can you lend me $20? And he just pats you on the back. Yeah. It's just like, no.
Of course.
No,
and then just leaves
look,
you.
I would do anything for you. And then it's like, cool, can I get that? No, can I get that? No.
It's like, oh,
all right,
I'm
well,
so
just
sorry, I
walks
gotta
off.
leave. I'm late for a dinner. Like,
yeah. I've actually got this Gucci fitting that's going on at the moment. I can't really, like, you know, I gotta go leave.
Well, like, you can see there, like, yes, Xiaopeng not really committing to helping him, but then when Pudding did, he dies. Like, it's just like, I'll help you out. The friend goes in, and it ends up being part of a whole different, you know, kettle of fish. He ends up being chased down and killed. And I mean, what do? You don't do anything here for TT. You're waiting on mistakes. You're waiting on opportunities from that would be gifted to you from RNG to try and come back into this. You don't have an Aphelios like last game to give you a pentakill and keep you in it. You just don't have an option to wait for this.
Yeah, I mean, even the pentakill didn't really keep them in it. It was more of a, hey, we've paused the clock for a second as the next chess move from RNG come through. But here we go. I mean, the Realm Warp into the back line.
Realm Warp into the back line. They get a 4-man Gnar ultimate, but the Leona is dead. Now, can Ye do enough damage? He will take down the ZIggs. The LUcian, though, is just too big, too strong, and putting out too much DPS. It's 2 kills. It's going to be 3 kills very, very shortly, and they are not able to do anything. Xiaohu is ending the game. That was 4v5, as good as you could possibly get with all the ultimates comboing in, and RNG are still just that far ahead.
Yuekai is reset to TP in on top of Xiao 7. That is just mean. That is just playing with your food. As Wei is the only one. Even Xiaohu TP'd. Everyone TP'd to kill Xiao 7.
One last kill there for Xiaohu to finish off the game. It was Wei to end it all, and RNG 207 wins in a row. They are the most informed team in the league. I know Lyric thinks it's FPX, but I'm just all on the RNG hype train.
I want to, like, look, I'm an RNG fan. I've said it from the beginning. I really, really hope that we get to see this RNG keeping.
Thank you, Dagda. Yeah. Great insight. Sorry, go on.
I still have the I'm like a foot on the FPX train as I'm handing out tickets for the RNG train. That's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I think the big one here is just this was a stomp. I kind of an expected win from RNG. And you can see even with Yuekai coming in as well, right? They kind of knew, hey, this is a warm-up. It's what we highlighted at the start of the day. This is the warm-up before they go for the high jump, before they try and continue on that golden road. And it does mean that for a lot of these players, it's kind of a, hey, look, this was nice. Even the double TP at the end just to try and kill Xiao 7 was like, pad the stats, lads. Get him. We've got to get the extra stat. But it's just to have a bit of fun. And I think this is kind of, unfortunately, where TT have kind of fallen into that of like, hey, look, a lot of new players, a lot of people that are trying to make a name for themselves, but unfortunately, it's just not a particularly strong team in the LPL right now.
No, and I think this is the when you have such a large league, 17 teams, and I argue that maybe our top 10, top 12 are pretty decent teams. I'd say they would do relatively well against majority of the world, but then you're starting to hit 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you are just going to have a natural fall off of talent, and it is just what it is if you have so many teams. And this is fantastic for RNG. This now brings them up to 6th position, 8-4, tied on wins with Suning, Billy, OMG, and even I would say even Team WE. So 1 win away from Rare Adam, 2 wins away from Edward Gaming, FBX. This is starting to see them just climb ever so much higher. And again, like we mentioned at the top of the day, it's the high jump. How high can they jump?
Exactly, and don't forget as well, I mean, as we said, RNG, they are one of the teams that has the most games still left to play. So they're now kind of sitting in line with EDG. Top esports that we're going to see later on today are also one of the teams with 4 games left to play. So there's still a lot of climbing that could potentially be done here for RNG, and especially when you start to look at teams like LNG who are out of them in the stables. How do they start to fare? They start to face up against Rare Adam, so the potential for them to leapfrog there. So much still to play here for RNG.
So much to play, and we're going to get the MVP, the man of the rift for game 2. It was Xiaohu. He was the instigator, he was the man finding the opportunities, and he was the guy getting the final kill just before the Nexus ended.
Yeah, and not really surprised, right? The Kennen popped off. You can see him trying to set up a lot of these mid-game fights, even having these massive TP plays. And you can see the rigmarole, the chaos that we had at these early stages. Xiaohu just about getting the stun in, getting a lot of these kills on the top side as well. I don't even think he was he didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything there, but it doesn't matter. It was in top lane, and it's still a highlight. RNG took the win. That's all that matters.
Wei gets a solo kill. Xiaohu's just like, I'm in the picture. It's just all right.
Yeah, it's like Mike Wachowski, where he's just like, you know, on this magazine, and he gets the barcode over his face. He's like, oh, I did it. But you know, 10 MVPs. I know, 10 MVPs for Xiaohu puts him on equal terms with Knight, 1 ahead of Tarzan, and Zika only 1 behind of Doonby. And again, important to recognize, they still have games to go. They still have potentially more MVPs. He could end up getting it. So we are going to